What is happening, people? It's Scarface Spursall with your weekly Spurs show. I'm joined by a great panel. Firstly, Brad, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you. Enjoying some days off whilst England scrape through to the knockout stages of the tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly not comfortable, is it? But we should be used to that being Spurs fans. Never done the easy way, always the hard way. But thank you very much for joining us this evening. Justin, regular on the show, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Harry. Thank you for having us on.
No, thank you for coming on as well. And Ian, how you doing? You doing well, Ian?
I thought you said he grasped his multitasking.
Yeah. It's all right. I put it on the YouTube so I could reply to little Louis, and I was getting the echo of you in one ear and the YouTube in the other. So, yeah, good evening, Harry. Good evening, Brad. Good evening, Justin. Great to be on with you again. And if anyone's wondering who the hell Louis is, he's there as where's he gone now? Yeah, Louis the best. That's my 10-year-old grandson. A budding great player, because I've seen him play. They call him the Whippet because he's so quick, but he's 10 years old. He's only 10 years old, so unfortunately he won't be in the first team. He won't be in the first team next season, but I've told the scouting department to have a good look at him when he's playing for Busby under 11s. All right, hi Lou.
No, thank you very much, Ian, and to your grandson in the chat as well. Apologies to anyone on YouTube that I've caused any confusion by scheduling the show at the wrong date. So I do apologise. You should know by now. It is every Monday. I should know. I know. So apologies for anyone who's like, "Hey, what are you doing live?" So that is why. But if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel and the podcast grow. If you're listening on any other podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, don't forget to give us a follow and a 5-star review. Big up to everyone in the chat as well listening after. But let's crack straight into it. And Justin, I'm going to kick it off with you because I want to start about the bomber, if you like, today, which progressed rapidly, if you like. I don't know if it's kept quiet or just literally progressed that quickly. But that is Archie Gray, because Fabrizio Romano posted this afternoon that Archie Gray has completed medical and signed contract valid until June 2030 as new Tottenham player. Joe Rodon will go to Leeds United as part of the deal, as expected. Here we go, confirmed. So what do you make of this? Does it excite you?
I don't think it's necessarily an exciting one. I think we're almost seeing similar to what we saw when we started with Pochettino, in terms of younger players coming through, almost sort of building, almost a case of, in Angie's first season, very similar, looking at the players that he had and just thinking, nah, you're not going to cut it. You're not going to cut it. As soon as I can, I'll get you out, and I'll bring in a younger, hungrier sort of group of players that I can work with. I think it'll be very interesting because, the one thing I would say is that, I know a lot of people were questioning about why would we be going after the likes of Conor Gallagher. I think that now kills it, because to me, I think one of the things that I do like with Archie Gray from what I saw of his time at Leeds was a very versatile player. This is a guy who can do, almost 6, 7, 8. He can do the right back role. He's very versatile in his approach in terms of with the game. So to me, I think it is going to be an exciting addition. I think, though, the big difference we need to sort of be looking at here going forward is that this has to be sort of the start with it. It has to be a case of we're bringing him in because there was an opportune moment, really. I think from what I've understood, Tottenham were more wanting to try and leave it as late as possible to go in for Archie Gray. But I think Brentford kind of accelerated that. And I think the fact that they couldn't get a deal done, and we had Joe Rodon that we could sort of throw into the mix. I think that's, to be honest, the only reason it hasn't been announced, because I think they're just waiting to get everything sorted, Leeds side with him, and then it will get announced from there. But it's a young potential signing. I know some people aren't excited about it, but on the other scale, there's two things to bear in mind. We've missed out on players that have become superstars from the Championship, and this is a young player that the manager wants. When, other people bring up the likes of Jack Clark and other people like that, but they were brought in for managers that had no interest in those players at all. Jed Spence, as we all remember, when Antonio Conte said this is a club signing. So this is somebody, that Ange will want, and I think has been driven by Johan Lang. So, when we're seeing him and possibly Jacob Ramsey and people like that, I think this is because this is being driven as a collective rather than it being a case of the club want this, but the manager doesn't. So I think it is a case of finding, a better balance between, what everybody wants rather than what just the manager or the club want. So to me, I think it's going to be a good signing. I do think there has to be, some really strong ones to go with it as well.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much, and welcome onto the show, TJ. How you doing?
Oh, you guys, Ben, I've been good. Sorry, man, I just finished work, so
All right.
on the A406, there was a lot of traffic. Just got in, and I've just realised my brother's using the gaming setup room, so we're going to be streaming in my little kitchen.
No worries at all. Glad you're well, TJ. To throw you straight into it, straight into the action. Have you heard the Archie Gray news today about the first player looks like we're going to sign from Leeds United?
Yeah, I think it's a good move, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think he's young. He's got potential to grow, and he's going to obviously fit the English quota. I agree. So I believe it's a good move. Look, a lot of people want a marquee signing right now, and obviously we all do want marquee signings, but young and up and coming talent, there's a few and beyond, isn't it? So Archie Gray, perfect signing for me, and working alongside Ange Postecoglou, he's going to do amazing things with him. The question is he going to be ready to just get thrown in? Who knows? But I think personally we're doing good business. You thought I would have been a bit negative with this signing. I'm actually a bit positive. I feel like we're taking a good approach, because we for a long period of time we haven't really bought players that can hold value. And look, let's just say Archie Gray, he doesn't become the player that we want him to become. There's still going to be some sort of sell on value. It's not like an end on Berle signing where we're screwed, So I'm all for it, to be honest with you. I'm all for it.
I didn't expect to hear that. So, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to question. I'll take it. TJ being positive about a transfer window. That's like, I don't know, Southgate saying that, we're going to do it the easy way and we're going to make changes in our next game, even though we can see that the changes work. We'll get on to England later. Brad, I'll come to you. What do you think about Archie Gray? And obviously, we know it's progressed quickly today. Have you heard of him before? Do you like what you've seen, if you have? Oh, sorry, Brad. You're on mute. Sorry, go for it.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not doing cartwheels in the street, but from what I've seen of or heard of him, I haven't seen a lot of him, but what I've heard from people that that journalists and that sort of thing, your Ali Golds and that, he seems to be a decent player and very, very sort of can play in many positions. I mean, people might go on about the age, but I believe Dele Alli was probably only 18, 19 when we bought him, and he turned out to be pretty good. So I think it's a good signing. I think we need to get a couple of big ones in by the season or by pre-season. But I think that's really being dictated by two major tournaments being on at the moment, where all their players are obviously going to be doing other things. And the other thing is that we aren't going to attract the top players at the moment because we're not competing for anything. Once we start competing for stuff, then the players, these top players will want to come to us. But at the moment, I think we've got to go for these good players. Don't get me wrong, but we've got to go for the players of maybe the second tier of that level of world class players. But I'm happy with that signing. I hope we get some other ones. Don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty pleased with that.
No, thank you very much, Brad. Ian, I'll come to you. A lot of the guys have touched on, does he come into the lineup? Is he ready? Where does he play? A lot of things like that. So talk to me about your thoughts on Archie Gray. How do you see it fitting in?
Yeah. I mean, I'm delighted with this signing. Yes, it shouldn't be seen in isolation, because I think the last thing we want to be seeing is we're just signing 18-year-olds with potential. I think we all know that the first team needs to be strengthened, and we need it strengthened in more than one area. But I mean, I think Brad is right. I think the kind of players we are chasing are in all probability playing in Germany or playing in South America. So you can't go signing players when they're in the middle of competitions. I mean, I've been on shows where we've discussed how on earth the English transfer window opened on the day that the Euros started. I mean, that just seemed to be a piece of absolute nonsense that only football administrators can come up with. Someone thinks it's a good idea and then someone else agrees with them and they do it, without someone saying, well, hang on a minute, maybe we should open the transfer window on the 15th of May or the 20th of May and let clubs get some business done beforehand. But the other thing is, let's look at what we were trying to sign at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the summer. And one of the priorities that people had in mind is we needed cover in the right back position. We needed cover there because if Porro got injured, there just simply wasn't anyone else there. So we now have someone that can fulfill that role. So that's one box ticked. The other thing is, this boy probably, although he played a lot at right back, probably isn't his best position at right back. He can play as a 6 or as an 8. I mean, he's good going forward. He's actually a perfect number 6 for Ange. Because he will win the ball and then he will bring the ball forward, which is what he expects. He's not really had it from Bentancur or Bissouma. So this is a lad that could well make it into the first team. But for those that are saying, yes, the marquee signings, I don't think anybody should be thinking that this is an either-or signing. I don't see that at all. And of course, we've managed to, we keep talking about as well about not being able to get rid of the deadwood. He's on his way. Rodon's on his way to Leeds. So that's a player. I rate Rodon, but clearly the club don't think he's good enough to play for Tottenham Hotspur. So that's one we've moved out the door, and we know that's a struggle. So that's, in my view, that's two birds killed with one stone there. Yes, we'll need marquee signings. We still need a top centre forward. I would give up my right arm if we could sign the likes of Isaac. They seem to have called their interest in Tony. I sort of understand that. Maybe there's a worry that he's not come back from the betting suspension. Jimenez apparently was really, really poor for Mexico in the Copa. What do they call it? The
Copa Ray or something. Copa something. Yeah.
Copa. Yeah. Anyway, the Copa. So he was really poor in that, and Mexico are out, and I don't expect them to pursue that. So. I expect us to be making better signings, but we've got Bergvall in. We've got Werner is coming back on a loan. It's not a signing as such. There's no money other than his wages or maybe a loan fee. I like this boy Gray. I think he's a big future talent. He was playing for Leeds first team. I think he made his debut at 15. So that suggests he's got some ability. And I expect a good 3 or 4 more coming in, first team players and more going out the door. It's actually been a good start. And of course, the lad, the Croatian boy as well, is going to Belgium, and he's another hugely talented 17-year-old. So, there is a bright future. But yes, people do want us to be challenging now, particularly some of the younger people. Some guys, very good, very good. I've got some good jokes as well. I can tell later if I need to.
For anyone who can't see, Cole said in the YouTube chat, I heard someone say today that Richarlison is good as should I say, Ivan Toney.
At what?
No.
I mean, no, it's a serious question. At what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Being injured.
Poker player. Well,
Good on. If you want to,
I would take Tony, but I think there's some worries.
I wouldn't even take Tony.
You would.
We'll get on to the strikers.
I'll leave it there.
Don't worry.
I'm delighted with this signing, but this is the start, not the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I do completely agree. We will get onto it. Before we get to strikers, I'll come to you, TJ, because I've asked a couple of guys now. Where do you see it kind of working? Obviously, you've given your thoughts, but with Archie Gray, is it a player that is backup for Porro? Is it backup for someone in the midfield? Can he compete for minutes? Where do you kind of see it, TJ, going? Obviously, your tactical insight.
Well, let's be totally honest here now. we've struggled with cover, to be honest with you. And look, I don't think he's going to demand first team straight away, but we definitely need cover. And for me personally, Emerson Royale and Ben Davis are not good enough. We've established that as a community. Tottenham already know Ben Davis and Emerson Royale are just simply not good enough. So adding more young up and coming talent to our bench is such a positive, because look, we haven't had good cover for a long time, you know, even when we were even up to like Kyle Walker, and then we had Trippier. That was good cover. We haven't had that for years now, you know. So for me, I think his role is to come play in the small tournaments. If Pedro Porro gets injured, he plays minutes here and there. But I just see it as a cover signing, to be honest with you. I also believe that he is going to get better. So we're buying him, we're getting him at a crucial age, young, up and coming. He's going to learn, he's going to develop. So I think it's a good signing for Tottenham. But my only concerns are we've signed Werner and a bench warmer. Where is the actual signings? We've been dying for a midfielder. We've been dying for a striker. We've been dying for a winger. And they've given us Werner and Gray. Think about it.
Yeah,
So, go for it.
I think the Werner signing and the Gray signings were the opportunities, basically, that we knew that we could get done. I think with the Werner signing, I seriously think that Postecoglou has said to the board, look, I don't really know about this guy. Can you get him on another loan? And they've gone out and done that. So I think
that's low ambition. For me, that's low ambition, because at least then, this is how I see it. You've had, and I spoke it. I said to a Spurs fan, you saw what the under-21s and the under-18s done this last year. You know, if you want to dibble and dabble with players like Werner, we saw for a whole year. Look, okay, cool. I'm not going to be a Werner hater, but we see what he offers on the pitch. He wasn't good.
Yeah,
He wasn't.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I think he's an absolutely brilliant player. I just think that Postecoglou hadn't seen him for enough and just wanted to see him a bit more, and he was available to get on a loan. The top players, as I say, the sort of marquee signings that we might be making are probably all in tournaments at the moment. So until the transfer window's over, I don't think we can say whether we are or are not.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying. Postecoglou probably hasn't seen him for a long period of time, but then that's when I'm going to start. It might seem like I'm negative. I'm going to start questioning Postecoglou, because I've seen him for a year, and he's not what is going to get us to the next level.
Well, we don't know that.
No, but he's not a starter, is he?
I wouldn't even want him on the bench.
Okay,
you've got
and I can understand that. One of the things, though, that was important, I think, about Werner is the positions that he got into. Let's just. I know we can talk about his finishing, and we can talk about the fact couldn't hit the proverbial barn door from 2 feet and what have you, but Postecoglou's game is absolutely about those little give and goes, fast movement of the ball, and getting the ball behind, getting the ball behind the fullbacks. And Werner was actually far better at it than anyone else in the club. The problem,
okay, cool.
The problem.
Can I just pause you there for a second?
Let me just finish.
Oh yeah, go for it, bro.
Obviously, is that when he's got into that position, he hasn't hit the target often enough, and that was the same problem. The same problem with Brandon Johnson, getting into the positions and not finishing the job. And we will struggle unless we have players in those positions that finish the work, because we create a phenomenal amount, and Ange Ball does. Sorry.
I totally agree with what you're saying. 100%. I'm on board with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm pretty much in your court. The only problem that I have with that statement is we've now asks this guy to come back on loan, which he's on £200,000 accordingly, 200k a week, which for me doesn't sit right with my chest. Now, I saw last year the under 21s and the under 18s do phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were look, we're buying these Greys, we're buying these Bergvalls, we're buying all this young talent. Why don't you use what you have already? Now, I'm not saying our young talent is a finished article, but for me, I've seen enough of Werner, and I don't think he has the quality to take us to the next level. Because Ange Postecoglou said to us in this is about 4 or 5 months now, that he wants to bridge the gap. Simply, Werner's are not the bridge to gap, in my opinion. And until we get quality in them areas, we're going to be doing this round the circle again.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Teejay. I want to welcome someone onto the show who's got something to say about it.
Sorry about that, yeah?
No worries at all. It's fine. It's good to see a good debate. And that is Alex, so Mr. Box Office TV. How are you doing, Alex, firstly?
I'm great. I'm on the beach. I've been on the beach for the last 6 months since Tottenham have been playing because they've been absolutely useless. But big up to you. Big up to you, Harry. Thank you for inviting me.
No worries at all.
Yes, I'm sorry. Listen, I actually watched your show a couple of weeks ago, and I heard a lot of rubbish on there, and I'm hearing a lot of rubbish right now. I've got to be honest. But to be honest, I'm not even angry. I'm just laughing. I'm literally laughing, and literally, it's like a joke. To be honest with you, it just sums up how it is. One signing. That is just that one the kid signing again. This is where football's gone absolutely dead for me, because back in the 90s you could see these players, but now we twerk for one player that's only played in the championship for one year. Honestly, you know what I mean? But now he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. And I'm seeing all Tottenham fans putting a resume up and saying, "Oh, he's gonna do this. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do this." And I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh, we're doing it again. We're doing it again, Tottenham fans. It's just right on cue. Right on cue. You know what I mean? I'm now hearing Timo Werner, the below average Shane Long, yeah, is the bet. He's worth it, yeah. Okay, get Bergwijn back then. Get Bergwijn back then, yeah.
Exactly.
Get
Thank you.
Bergwijn back then.
Thank you.
Get Harry Wheats back then. You know what I mean?
110%. You're speaking facts, Alex.
Sissoko. Get all those players back then. Honestly. If we're going to start talking that rubbish, because honestly, this is exactly why we're talking about this, yeah? Again, nice players, yeah? That's all I need to say. Back to you, Harry, I'm done.
No worries at all. So, yeah, we will move on from players like that, because I think that Werner is always going to be one of those where you have some people that strongly support it, some people that don't, and I'm kind of in the middle, to be honest with you. It kind of one of those where it's not going to float or sink my boat, if you like, in that way. It's kind of is what it is. Is it going to change the outcome of the season? Maybe not, but if Ange wants him. So that's
Harry, can I ask you a question? Because you love to ask us questions. Do you think 200k a week is worth Werner? It's just a yes and no question, yes and no answer, to be honest with you, because I want to know that through the whole panel. Because for me, I don't think it's worth it. I know it's not worth it. You might as well send one of us. Go for it.
Would I have signed him on a loan? Yes, but I understand that the loan fee is a lot, and I understand that. But if you'd asked me a few months ago, it would have been no, let's go with someone like Pedro Neto. But I look at him and he seems to be like injury prone. And then I look at Werner towards the end of the season and some of his movement. He's never going to get you 10, 15 goals. I don't think he should start many, if any, games. It's a case of another option to have off the bench. But if it's a case of is Werner instead of this player, then that's different. But I think what I'm trying to say, I think Brad and Ian, and correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, under the same impression, but it's kind of additionally for free, it feels like a kind of no-brainer if it's on top of. It doesn't limit the rest of our kind of transfer window. What do you reckon though, Teejay?
I disagree with you because I believe it upsets the dressing room. Honest to God.
Timo signing Timo Werner upsets
Honest
the
to
dressing
God,
room.
yeah. No, honest to God, it upsets the dressing room because this is
How?
my point. My point is this: you saw what the under-21s and the under-18s done. You know, you've got players there, and I'm not saying they're ready-made and they're ready to go. You're wasting the wages on
Sorry,
something that you
TJ, but
could have.
isn't that the same as Archie Gray? He's a young player coming in and taking
The
up
difference
places
is
from other young players.
but the difference is the value. You can see it. Okay, cool. Look, you're getting a youngster in that can hold its value. Let's just say he spends 3 or 4 seasons at Tottenham, and maybe it doesn't work. Hypothetically, Archie, it doesn't work for Tottenham. We could move him on. You're talking about a 27 or 28-year-old on 200 grand a week. I think he's the second highest earned player, which Levy's going to want him to play. It's not. It's just not worth it. I don't think having him at Tottenham after the year. Look, I believe there's better out there, and this is my thing. Alex said a very good thing just a minute ago. Why did we sell Bergwijn?
It wasn't good enough.
And Werner's better? Is Werner better?
I wouldn't have signed Werner. I've not said. I'm saying I understand why he was signed. I wouldn't have signed him, but I have to trust the process. I have to try, and I know Brad wants to come in, but I have to trust the manager or the coach as to what he wants, and the coaching department and their ability to scout the players that the manager wants. That seems to have been lacking in the club for probably most of Levy's reign, and for the first time, I think we might be getting it right. I would not have signed Werner in a million years, but I have to trust the process. The other thing, just quickly, sorry, Brad, just one thing quickly is that I know you talk about a lot about the under-21s, but there is certainly talk that a number of them look good at that level, but aren't going to make it up to the first team. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Should they get more opportunities, Ian?
Exactly.
Sorry?
That's my point.
More opportunities.
And one of the players I like is the boy Santiago. I mean, I really like him, who plays in that left-sided attacking role. But I mean, if it were me, I'd have elevated him to the first team. But it's not for me. We could all talk like we're the living experts. These professionals work with them day in, day out. Anyway, look, I'll shut up because
no, you're fine. Thank you.
Just two things.
Go for it, Brad.
The first thing is he worth 200 grand a week, 100 grand, whatever it might be? Well, personally, I don't think anyone doing any job anywhere in the world is worth 200 grand a week anyway. So that's the answer to that question. And the other thing is that about when we got Werner on that, did another loan deal. Not Twitter. Twitter and YouTube went absolutely ballistic. It was like we'd signed Satan himself. And I went onto one YouTube channel. I won't say which one it was. They were talking about Werner. I switched it over. I went back about 2 hours later. They were still talking about Werner. So, as far as I'm concerned, and here I come on my first show I've been on in many, many months. We're talking about Werner. I'm just getting really bored with it.
I didn't plan to talk about Werner.
He might be good. He might not be good. That's it.
It wasn't in the talking points. Yeah, we will move on for Timo Werner because Justin is a regular on the show, and TJ to an extent as well, can vouch for this. It has been an ongoing topic. I want to move on to the striker debate, which was the topic of this show half an hour in, but it doesn't matter. Justin, I'll come to you because you've been quiet. Marlon will be very impressed with you. So what striker do you want us to sign for people who don't know?
Oh, blimey. I mean, there's ideal ones. There's ones that I don't think Tottenham will ever go for, because if you're looking at the ones out there, I mean, you're talking about Osimhen is meant to be leaving Napoli, and the talk is of 85 million pounds. Well, that would shut anybody up if you went and turned around and got him, and whatever, through Højbjerg in, Lo Celso in. They worked with Conte before. I mean, there's talk. Napoli have made it clear he's going. If you said to me money was no object and we could go and sign a striker, that would be it. I don't think we actually will. I think more realistically, in terms of what I think is suitable, but for me it's a toss up between Ivan Toney or Jonathan David of Lille, because I think either one of them, I mean, we've seen, when Tony is on form, he would suit the system, would be a good attacking option. The stats that David has given, particularly over the last few years, okay, it's French league, but, Mbappe didn't do too badly out of there. So to me, I feel that it's all going to depend on what Richarlison does and what happens with Richarlison, because if Richarlison stays, they go small, and I feel that David fits into that. That's why they're looking at him, because he's got that year left in his contract. I think if Richarlison goes, they go big. And I know that they like the idea of Gyökeres or, players like, I think he will be more expensive. So, as if it was a case of if Richarlison goes, I'd get Osimhen. If he doesn't, I'd get David.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's really interesting to hear. Ian, I'll come back to you. For you, in an ideal world, realistically, what striker, should I say, would you want us to sign? But also, what do you think will kind of happen? The striker situation with Spurs, obviously with Richarlison, etc., who could potentially leave the club.
Yeah. Good point. I'm sorry, I have to be really self-indulgent and give another shout out to my 10-year-old grandson who's tuning in. Sorry, he wants another shout out. Now I'll get back to the work in hand.
No worries.
I like the ones. I certainly like the idea of the Justin's mentioned of Jonathan David at Lille.
David.
Yeah, I think I do think he ticks the boxes, and I think he'd be a little bit cheaper as well. I think Ivan Toney. I still like him, and you could see he's got something about him. Even that little cameo last night, that physical presence in the box. I don't know if there's some concerns. I'm sure they do a lot of due diligence on players, probably more than they did that allowed us to sign somebody like Ndombele. Is there a worry he's gambling? Is there a worry his focus wasn't quite right when he came back from his suspension in January? I think he scored 4 goals, which is un-Tony-like. I mean, he's a player I love. Let me throw something else into the melting pot, because I think you're right. It absolutely depends upon Richarlison leaving. Everything depends upon Richarlison leaving, because that will free up a significant amount of funds. There was talk, and I know it was rubbished by him, but if Newcastle still need to make money and will want cover, is there a swap deal to be done? 60,000, 50,000 and Richarlison for Isak. I think he's
50,000.
50 million, you mean?
If only it's 50,000, Ian.
50 million.
If only if it was 50,000.
Hey, listen, when I started watching football, you could get a decent player for 60 grand, right, Brad? You could get a decent
50,000, I think.
Ellie in the chat makes a comment about Vlahovic as well. I remember being on a show with Brian Daigle a number of years ago, thinking he would be a great player to play alongside Harry Kane. I don't know whether Vlahovic would be the perfect leader of the line. Not sure in the Ange system he would be perfect for that. I always thought he was better playing off another striker, but he's a great player, and I wouldn't bet against that. But if you're asking me what I would like to have happen in my wishful days, it would be part exchange Richarlison for Isak. I think that would be absolutely perfect, and I would be getting the champagne out, and I hope everybody else would.
No, fair enough. Alex, I'll bring you back into it. What I call, the striker dilemma at Tottenham, where we'll probably get right until the last day of the window with no striker, and goodness knows what will happen. So where do you see it going, Alex, with the situation, and what would you like to happen as well? I'm sure there'll be a difference between the two.
I think it's quite clear where I'm going to go with this, because if you haven't watched Mr. Box Office TV, I told you what I was going to what already, and that's it. It's Ivan Toney. It's quite clear. It's a risk. It's a risk. I'll say that all day long. It could be a Ndombele. It could be a Dalma. Yes, it could. But the reason is that, like I said before, We've got too many nice guys at our club. We've got too many nice guys. Johnson, nice guy. Son, nice guy. Who else? Who else is there? Kulicheski, nice guy. Below average, Hemel Heskey, Richarlison, nice guy. You know what I mean? Solomon, nice guy. Right? I've got too many nice guys at my club. Too many nice guys. The only arrogant players I've got in my club is Romero and Bentancur, who I call the reject. Yeah, who's growing on me, but then he's been average the last couple of last half of the season. That's it. Let's be honest. Ivan Toney, I don't need to worry about him missing a chance. I don't need to worry about him having the confidence or self-confidence. I know he's got the swag. Yeah. So if he misses a chance, he's like Abramovich. He'll just shrug his shoulder and say, "So what? I'll bang it in next minute. I'll bang it in next 5 minutes. I'll bang it in next time." You know what I mean? And you have that ruthless aggression. You have that ruthless street saying, "You know what? I don't care. I'm going to get the job done." Yeah, he's like a Defoe. That's it. Yeah. I will say this though, caveat with this: if he wants big wages, forget it. Bye bye. Go to West Ham. West Ham are mugs to give them all that money anyway, so it's fine. That's cool. But as far as I'm concerned, we need arrogance in our team at the moment. And I'm sorry, we ain't got arrogance in our front three at the moment. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I don't really want Eze, to be honest with you. I don't think he's got it. I think Elise's got it all day long. I think Elise's got it all there, all day, every single day. I've got to be honest. I look at him, and it's always that silent guy. He's always a silent guy, because people forget.
Yeah. No,
What do we have? Who won the Carabao Cup for us? Oh yeah, Berbatov. Look at with Berbatov. He was very quiet, wasn't he? He was elite. I think Tottenham fans completely forget. We need nice guys. Nice guys. Look how we're nice guys with Harry Kane. Loser. Back at Bayern Munich, does a 1-0. That's it. All I'm saying. That's all I need to say. You know what I mean? Yes, great striker, but what has he won? Nothing.
I think it's
Nada.
true. You've got a point.
Yeah. You might as well call him the Letitia. You know what I mean, from Southampton. But that's all I need to say, and that's it. Look, Ivan Toney. That's all I'm going to say. But we're not going to get him because we've only got one spot, because we've got who we've got on loan. I'm not going to say his name, and that's it. Back to you, Harry. I'm done.
No, it's fine. No, thank you very much, Alex, for that little moment. But no, I know what you mean, and I think that we have to focus on the ability, right? And we could be a nice team that plays great football, easy on the eye, and I get that from Ange's first season in terms of we won't complain about the officials, we won't complain about fouls, we won't complain about this. And I don't like us or anything like that, but like they complained about Bukayo Saka treatment, for example, about being fouled, and the stats showed that he wasn't. He was like third or fourth down the list most fouled. But ultimately, so I think sometimes you have to do things to make sure you win, and players like Romero are very key getting part of results. Look at Pickford yesterday; a little bit of time wasting. You may not like that, you certainly don't like it. It's against you, but you need that kind of winning mentality. So I do understand.
Harry, and also I just add this as well, right? Just remember the Manchester United team, that won the treble. Yeah, those four strikers: Dwight York, Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham, and Solskjaer. Three of them didn't even like each other. Couldn't even stand each other. Yeah, Andy Cole even said it on Let's Just Talk Football with Gary Neville on Sky Sports. He even said it himself. Didn't even talk to each other. Even Dwight York,
I think Archibald and Crooks were the same as well. Like
they didn't even talk to each other.
Yeah,
they even talk to each other. It was all telepathic. So this rubbish about we need to get on with each other, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to be pallying all that. Most of your enemy is your best friend. Is your best friend, and they're pushing you, saying, "Well, you ain't taking my place." Sorry, mate. You're having a laugh. That's why I don't like the word backups. Yeah, because backups is a bang average Emerson Royale. You know what I mean? Like I said before. Yeah, I want people to compete. Yeah, that's the problem with Tottenham fans. Tottenham players, Tottenham team. We don't like to compete. We like to think value of the window. It's like, well, value don't get you winnings, doesn't get you trophies. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't get you FA Cups. Yeah, is the reason why Jamie Vardy is more decorated than Heung-min Son and Harry Kane put together. Yeah, and when I say that, people think, why? Because what has he won? He's won more than what Son's done in his whole lifetime. Yeah? And how long has Jamie Vardy had a career? That's all I need to say. Back to you, Harry. I'm done.
No, that's fine. No worries. No worries at all. Before we move on, because TJ, also you're on next week's show, I'm going to ask you about the striker debate next week because I want to get into England. So apologies in advance about that. But at least we won. So a little bit more positive than I planned it to be originally. Planned it all on the loss, and we end up winning the game. It's England for you. Wait till the final whistle. I've learned a lesson. But Brad, what striker do you want if you could choose, and why?
Well, I don't know much about Jonathan David. I don't know playing scoring goals for Lille. I'm not so sure that the French league is that reliable league for a striker. I quite like Isaac at Newcastle, but I can't see that ever happening. But I do like Ivan Toney. I've actually liked Ivan Toney since the start of the season, when we knew that he'd be available in January when he came back from his ban. Yeah, you have got these problems with will he fit in all this sort of stuff and do the due diligence? But what Alex was just saying, I used to follow an Australian rules football team, and someone once said to me, "You won't win anything until you get a player that everyone doesn't like." And we got two brothers, two related brothers, and they were brilliant, and we started winning things. So I tend to agree that you need that bit of nastiness up front, and I think Tony's done it in the Premiership. I think he's looked good when he's come on for England. He made a difference last night when he came on. So I would be very pleased if we signed Tony, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, fair enough. I think that Tony obviously will make that move away from Brentford, but it's where he goes to.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. But be honest with you, there's a lot of teams that do need a striker. You could argue Arsenal, Chelsea. There's a lot of teams out there. You could go Man United, some to support Holland. I think that Denmark's game proved that the other day. So we'll have to see what happens. But there's teams out there that definitely do need strikers. You could argue Liverpool as well, support with Nunes. But we'll move on to England and dramatic 2-1 win in extra time for anyone who didn't see it against Slovakia. So Justin, I'll start with you. What did you think of the game? Did England deserve to go through in the end, or does that just not matter and we're through to the quarterfinals?
To be honest, we were awful, absolutely gutless, embarrassing. I actually felt sorry for the Slovakians because they must have, they did everything perfect in terms of game plan. They'd seen what we have been like, which has been shambolic throughout the tournament, and we've staggered our way to this point. There's no way, unless we somehow either fluke our way through or we turn up, that we beat the Swiss, because I watched the Switzerland versus Italy and they were brilliant. They were organised. They just took them apart, and that is what they'll do to us. I don't think anybody in that game came out with really much credibility apart from Bellingham, but that was more for the goal than anything else. And to me, I just don't get why on earth you've got so much talent on the bench that he's just not prepared to use. It's a case of that he's got, the likes of Gordon, who's played better for 5 minutes than Phil Foden has for the entire tournament, yet will turn around and play Phil Foden in a position that Pep Guardiola doesn't play him in. It just smacks of square pegs in round holes. And yeah, okay, we're still in the tournament, but you look at what there is on the other side, and that is the only reason that we are still in this tournament, because had we played, the Netherlands, I think they would have obliterated us. I think if we'd have been on the other side, I think we'd be on our way home now. I honestly, that was probably the worst 120 minutes of football. And I remember when we went out to Iceland. So, I don't see it getting any better. This is 4 games now, and we've still been, we've got some of the best attacking players in the Euros, and we're playing as if we're the minnows. To give teams like Slovenia, and Slovakia, this and Serbia, this level of respect, like we've, thank God we've gotten this far, is just a joke. It really, really is. I don't understand how, when you can turn around and put the talent that we have and either not start them in some cases, or even play them, and yet, we'll turn around and we'll hinge everything on Calvin Phillips. That's what we're missing, is a Calvin Phillips. Now, you could go round here, and I think we could all collectively answer the question: would Tottenham fans be happy if we went and signed Calvin Phillips? Spoiler alert: the answer would be no. So how on earth Gareth Southgate can think that's an acceptable reason?
What he really wanted to say was Jordan Henderson, but he knew he'd get the backlash. So I think he thought, Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, because that's like choosing which testicle you want to be kicked in. If I'm being brutally honest, that one is. To be fair, I mean, I see some of the players that we have, and when you look at them, Foden, young player of the year at Man City. Cole Palmer, young player of the year. Jude Bellingham has just gone and won. It's on course probably to win the Ballon d'Or and things like that. And they turn up here and they just play like a bunch of. It just reminds me of 2006 when we had Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes. All these players were absolutely phenomenal for us. Yeah, the golden generation, as we called them, and we're just a bunch of ignorant. I'll let you fill in the blank, but to be fair, we got through, and it was nice that we did, but I don't see us going any further. Honestly, I make the Swiss favourites, and I can only name Xhaka in that team. Just shows how embarrassing that Southgate has made us, to be honest. So we got through, but that papered over a lot of cracks.
Okay, fair enough. TJ, where do you stand on England and the 2-1 win against Slovakia?
Man, I don't watch that crap, man. I stopped watching from last year when we lost against Italy, bruv, in the final, man. I don't tolerate this Southgate bull. That Southgate guy is a fraud. Trust me, I've not watched a single game. I promise you, I'm the worst person to ask this question because I refuse. I'm not going to waste my time watching some backwards football. Southgate is just not good enough. Let's just all agree Southgate is not good enough. With the players that we have on the pitch.
Devil's advocate.
Go for it, bro.
Devil's advocate, and it doesn't necessarily, I'm not necessarily this is what I think. I mean, just see Justin's face already. But
brother, but before you play devil's advocate, be careful because I will clip this for the rest of your life. So
that's all right. Go for it.
Go for it, bro.
I'll be very careful now. I'll be showing that back on Spurs Kings TV in about 3 years' time. But a little stat here. From 1968 to 2016, we only had 6 knockout wins. But from 2018 to 2024, we've had seven knockout wins. What do you make of that, TJ?
But I don't follow that. You know why I don't follow that? Because I wasn't born then, so I wasn't watching the football. Cool, firstly, but no. On a serious note, I don't follow that because the quality now is way better from back then. You can agree to disagree, but the quality is much better. Southgate, for me, his way of playing, it's too what's the word for it? Too pragmatic. Yeah, too pragmatic. That's the best way to put it. The way he builds up. Look, I have not watched a single game. I've watched the highlights. I watched Bellingham's bicycle kick. What a way to clunch at like last minute, right? But Southgate's not good enough. Let's just agree to this. Southgate's not good enough. He deserves the sack. Because there's no logical reason for the players like you just listed Bellingham, Kane, Foden. You've got even Eze. You've got bare play. You've got so many good quality players for you to play such a pragmatic style. So for me, it's not good. He's not good enough. They need to sack him now. Sack him now. You know what? In fact,
in the middle of a tournament,
sack him now.
Germany, he's done no training with them.
Sack him now, and he like and give it to one of the fans because at least we will see good quality football. Honestly, no, I refuse to watch it. It's 90 minutes of diabolical sideways football. It's not good enough. With the players that we have on the pitch, come on. Okay, cool. Put it like this. Let me ask you a question.
But you're the first to criticise positive styles of play, like with Ange. Now you're criticising a negative style of play.
This guy, no, but
which one do you want?
The difference with Ange, look at the players that Ange has, and look at the players that Southgate's got. Southgate's got world-class players all over the pitch, and you're playing a negative style. Okay, cool. Look, Bellingham, you've got Rice, you've got Kane, you've got Saka, you've got Foden, and you're playing defensive. It makes no sense.
I have to, as I said, I know other people are going to jump in, but I have to agree. As I said, you cannot be playing in that level of field when you're playing Serbia and you're playing, Slovenia and you're just scraping through in Slovakia. That to me is criminal. When you look at, and I think the key part here, Harry, you've got to be looking at was the game yesterday with Spain. They had a game plan, even though Georgia went first. They had a game plan and they just tore them to bits, and that to me is what you've got to be looking at when you've got players like what they've got, Nico Williams, Yamal, people like that who can just dominate for fun. To me, we've got players not maybe as good as that, but we've got players that should be in a similar sort of category to that. You cannot be turning around and almost holding out for extra time.
I can justify England's players are better. I can justify England's got the best team this year. I can justify you got Bellingham, you got Foden, you got it's not good enough.
This is where I do disagree. I do think there's a lot of people who are overrated, and I look at in particular at defence. I
Who's
think
overrated?
there's better out there.
Name one. Okay, name one player that is overrated.
I can, but it's not going to go down very well. I
Go
think
for it.
Someone who's very
Foden.
Overrated.
Cool, I agree with you. Wait, listen, Harry. Harry, listen, you said Foden.
Well. Yeah.
You said Foden. I agree with you, bro. Listen, that's one player I would say he's overrated. However, you can't explain the 10 other players because the 10 other players are well.
Listen, we're good attackingly, but defensively, he's very poor. That's just the reality. And the midfield strung together by Jude Bellingham. That's it, really. For me, we don't have a midfield or defence. It's about that front four and the goalkeeper. That is England's team. And I get that supports all of your Justin's point. He's gone now. He's not listening. TJ's point.
I'm here. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
No, I'm still here. Sorry, I'm still here.
No, I'm only joking. No, you're fine. But
to be fair, though, I mean,
we should attack when we have attack.
Yeah, we should. And that's the key point with it. In terms of what you're saying, we've got so much better going forward than we have defence. So why are you trying to almost encourage people to attack your biggest weakness? That is the part overall that when you look at it makes absolutely no sense with it. And especially when you look at the fact now, we're having conversations. The crazy part is we're having conversations about putting Saka at left back.
Left back. I was just about to say that. Sorry. Thank you, man.
Because the thing to me is I can't understand when you take Joe Gomez, who can play left back and has played left back. You've taken Ezri Konsa, who has played left back as well. To me, that's the parts that are just unexcusable. They really are. When you've got players who can play in the positions that you have brought them for, and you are choosing to put the likes of Phil Foden and Bukayo Saka in positions that do not suit them, that is criminal in terms of from a football perspective. That really, really is, and it will get found out.
Okay, no, fair enough. That's really interesting. And before we get on to the Switzerland game, Ian, I'll come to you first. So what you've just heard about Southgate and the tactics, what do you kind of make it? Where do you stand? Because for me, it's a case of, I want it to be easy on the eye, but it's about getting the job done. So many times last season under Spurs, we were appealing. Look at that Chelsea game. Lovely game for the neutral, but we lost.
Yeah, no, agreed. It is about getting the job done, but I think it would be delusional to think that we will continue to get the job done at this level. Playing this way. True. And I think that's the bottom line. This isn't like a league, say 1-0 to the Arsenal where you sneak a goal, you put 10 behind the ball, and you may be a bit young for that, but under George Graham and what have you, where that was how they played and they got the job done. For great teams get the job done. This is not a great team. I think the worst of it is we went into this tournament thinking our defence was going to be a problem. We'd probably be okay going forward, but we would be vulnerable at the back. And in fact, the defence, thankfully, has been pretty solid. You know, Gui has been as a comment there in the chat, has been absolutely excellent. John Stones is just a player I could watch all day, just so easy on the eye. Trippier's done okay at right back. I mean, the lack of cover at left back is. I don't know who else he could have picked, but
Mitchell, Crystal Palace. I mean, it's better than picking an injured player.
There's always options, but for me, the worst of it is, you know, is Southgate's tactics. I mean, I'm one of these guys that always tries to look on the positive. I'm not one that wants to slag off. You know, I come on and, you know, I see a positive in a signing, whatever. I'll even see a positive in Werner, although I don't understand it. I'll try and explain why I think the manager has signed him, even if I don't agree with it. But with Southgate, I'm out of, you know, the prosecution wins. The defence just looks for mitigation here. Ultimately, for me, with this generation of players, I think we all agree these are some outstanding players. You've got the best player in Spain, the best player in Germany, the best player. You know, Foden was one of the best players in England, but people say overrated. I think given the right role in the team, I think he would.
That is important to bear in mind. He's playing the wrong position. Yeah,
Rice is a superb. You know, holding number 6, driving forward, probably the best out there. I mean, for me, the whole problem is the tactics. He plays this rigid 4-2-3-1. It really doesn't suit the team at all. I mean, if it were me, I would be playing a 4-3-3, not dissimilar to the way that Ange plays. So I would, you know, if it were me, I'd be playing that back 4. I'd be playing Rice, and then I would be playing Bellingham and either Mainu or Foden. You can take your pick. Gordon wide left, Saka wide right, doing the job, as someone said, doing the job that he does for Arsenal, wide right, hurting defences. And I'd probably be playing Palmer in the middle. Controversial, I know, but I think this is it. I think Harry isn't fit. I think he looks laborious. I think his back is troubling him. I think, you know, as we saw in the Champions League final, he's one of these players that puts pressure on his manager to play him, even when he's not fit. I think Palmer has looked far more effective. And I think I would just let that team fly. But even if you disagree with me and you play Kane, I think if we got the tactics right, we could still do something in this tournament. But I'm afraid the way we play under this coach, who is so negative, the sooner, to be honest with you, the sooner we come home, the better, because it's painful. It's utterly painful.
Yeah, certainly not easy on the eye. I think that's very, very fair to say. Brad, where do you stand on it? Before we move on, obviously it's been a long discussion.
Well, I before the game against Slovakia, I looked to the last Euros where we were absolutely awful until we went into the knockout stages, and we played well against Germany, beat them, beat Ukraine 4-0, beat Denmark, and then in this final, we're all over Germany for Italy, 1-0 all over them for the half an hour, and then suddenly we thought, we're going to hold on to this, which England and Tottenham, for that matter, can't do that sort of thing, and we lost that final. Unfortunately, last night we didn't get a Germany 2021 performance. We're absolutely awful. Going back to what Ian was saying about the club players. Maybe they should put their club tops on. Maybe that might make them play a little bit better. But last night was woeful. There was shade. And let's be honest about this. We were 1-0 down, and that Slovakian player missed an open goal effectively when he had that ball, didn't he? When he got the ball and there was an open goal, and he could have put that in. That would have been the end of it. So I was surprised when we got the equaliser. Once we got the equaliser, I thought we'd go on and win it. But then when we did go 2-1 up, we had shades of it. Only Ian will remember this. We had shades of 1970 against West Germany in the quarter-final.
Yeah.
2-0 up, 2-1 up, and he took off Charlton and I think, so I can't remember another player, to rest them for the semi-final, and we'd end up losing 3-2. Last night we had the situation where at 2-1, you want, go for it, England. You've got all of extra time, go for it. Get a third, get a fourth. Finish the match off. What did he do? He took Bellingham off, he took Kane off, and we were defending. And that's, it was just England do not defend, in those sort of situations that Spurs don't do either. It's just not in our nature. And yet we it seems to think that's how we're going to do it. Switzerland, I'll be very surprised if we get through against Switzerland. Yeah, they're the way they got rid of Italy. I mean, that was probably the most one-sided game you'll see, all tournament. But yeah, so I'm very, very sort of not looking forward to the Switzerland. But there's always where there's a way, there's hope, and you just hope that maybe it will change. But it's going to take an awful lot for it to change. And the other thing about this whole tournament is look at the teams that we would fear playing, right? France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, they're all on the other side of the draw. We'd only have to play one of them if we got
Denmark gifted us massively, didn't they, by not beating Serbia?
Yeah.
That was like
they're all on
winning
the
the
other side of the
lottery.
draw, and we'd only have to play if we got to the final. We'd only have to play one of them anyway. So it's like it's like we're in a great position if we could only sort of raise our game. But at the moment, I agree, the players look tired to me. But at the same time, all these other big countries, they've got other players that will probably be tired, that have been playing all season, all Champions League football, etc., etc. So we can't use that excuse. I did get the impression last night, before the tournament, when I'm watching England play, with the young team we play without fear, which is always a criticism aimed at England. They play with too much fear. Last night, I'm thinking we're playing with fear now. It's come back. The old thing that used to affect us so many years ago, we had all those brilliant players.
Is it the pressure that the media put on and the fans put on for you? What do you put it down to?
The media doesn't help, but then someone made the point, you're lucky we haven't got the Italian media.
Well,
So
yeah.
I think it's Gareth Southgate, man.
Well,
it's the pressure of defending. You got so much class going forward. You're telling these guys to defend. Trust me, it's the pressure.
They need to play with a lot more free attitude and plus play their natural game. But I think they're
take the handbrake off. You got as manager. Sometimes you have to go look right. I've got full of top players. You've got Foden, Bellingham, Kane, Saka, Palmer, Gordon. The options are unlimited in an attacking sense. If I was England manager, obviously it's easier said than done. There'll be a tactical and formation element behind it, but you just go. I wouldn't focus about the opposition. I'll just go and enjoy football. Work together as a team, which I don't think we're seeing at the moment, and you get the win. Enjoy yourself. Pass the ball around. Create spaces. Pass and move. And I generally think it's as simple as that. I don't think it is with club football. And I think when you've got someone like France, maybe not as much now, but look at the England team. I think you have to do that. When you're playing, it's different. You play France, Italy, Germany. There's a tactical element behind that, and you focus on the opposition. But some of the teams that we played, Slovenia, Slovakia, Serbia, it should be go out there and enjoy football. You should. I think.
But who does that come down under?
You should be able to put. Yeah, I know. Of course, you should be able to put 3 or 4 goals past them.
It comes down. It comes down from the manager. The manager has to install that to the players, and if he's telling them to defend for their life and putting Saka tell Saka to play left back, it doesn't work. It just makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. Hence why I don't watch it. I would suggest you guys do the same. It's
TJ will talk about things he hasn't seen, and he'll be talking about.
No, honestly, you know what? Yeah, the worst thing is scrolling through Twitter, and seeing the reactions. Southgate this, Southgate that, Southgate this, Southgate that. I said to everybody, stop watching it. Just stop.
Twitter, you're always going to
you've got to support your country, though, haven't they? You might like someone, but it's like Spurs. I didn't agree with the Nuno appointment. I didn't agree with the Mourinho sacking of the cup final.
Nah, man, I can't watch that, man.
I'm going to switch off. I'm going to still watch it.
That diabolical football will kill you.
It's going at the end of this tournament anyway, isn't he? I think he's already
said
that.
Oh, whether we win it or not, which I don't think we will for 1 minute. I said that at the start and I got called negative. I don't think that we just don't think we will. It's as simple as that. I think that there's a lot of England are going to win it. I just don't think there wasn't enough after I saw against Iceland. And that was a real surprise. And I think we've gone backwards. To be honest, I don't know what you put that down to, but we've gone
you
backwards.
wait till we play Morrison's.
We'll see how that goes. But no, we'll play Switzerland next. Alex, I want to bring you into it. What would you change Saturday, England point of view, with the lineup? If you were Gareth Southgate, what would you be telling them and your lineup?
That's the worst question you could ask me because I've not been interested at all watching England. To be honest,
Fair
with you.
enough, fair enough.
I've not been interested in this tournament. To be honest with you, I think I blame Tottenham on that. To be honest, the only thing I would say is, and just to divert it to something a little bit more optimistic, it's funny, Mr. Box Office being optimistic because they called him
I know,
a
right?
ratings killer,
Wow.
the negative one. Well, I eat that all day long. But the one player that I have to talk about is Cavascalia. Honestly, that guy. That just sums up what is missing about football. Honestly, that guy is a maverick all day long, every single day. Honestly, it's what's missing about football. I'm fed up of hearing HG. Oh, he needs to play in the system. He's a number 6. He's number 8. Whatever he is, this guy just reminds me of people back in the day, 90s, every single day. Like he just goes past players. He just runs. Yeah, uses his skill. He's got that little twang in his foot that you just old school sort of guy. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I miss that all day long. That's the sort of
All right.
guy that can get you off your seat. Yeah. And if that's one thing that's got me out of my seat about this tournament, which I've not really been interested in because I think the football's been absolutely rubbish. I think quality-wise, they've been absolute rubbish. Entertainment-wise, brilliant. But that's what we get now these days. Entertainment-wise, brilliant. Yeah, said that about the World Cup. Brilliant world entertainment. But quality-wise, like I say, back in the 90s, you saw
Certainly our group has been lack of quality, hasn't it? And
lack of quality all day long.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, you know what I mean? It'll be interesting who's the best player of the tournament. I bet it's defensive midfielder. I bet it is. Yeah, that sums it all up perfectly for me. Yeah, because for me, that summed it up perfectly. Spain, yeah, great seeing what they done, but the quality of seeing that guy, yeah, it's the guy that I look at him and thinking Grealish should be doing the same thing that this guy should be doing, but Pep Guardiola has absolutely ruined him, right? Because he's a maverick as well. But now he's looked at as now a system guy. But like for me, that guy put a star on him, right? And hopefully he doesn't have someone that puts him in a system and have to do a system. Because this guy don't need to be in the system. He makes the system. You know what I mean? And that's it for me. Other for England at the moment, I use it as a way of falling asleep. Honestly, you know what I mean? The second game, I had a choice. Go into gym and go to class, or go and watch an England game. I went to gym. Came back, right? Saw an England fan. I said, "What's the score? 1-1." Thank goodness I went to gym. Benched. That's it. Back to you, Harry. I'm done.
It's funny, man. That's how I'm feeling, and I don't even watch it.
There we go. No, thank you very much. Brad, I'll come to you. England, Switzerland, what would your lineup be? What would you change? Because I think we all agree that, well, hopefully that changes need to be made. The changes were made, right? Far too late for me against Slovakia. But when they were, we saw the impact of that. Whatever way you put it down to, what would you change?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give these guys a go. I mean, you know, they all came on and did stuff, and as you say, it was too late. I mean, what have we got to lose? I mean, this system that he's been playing and the players hasn't worked. You know, so why not give it a go? I don't think he will, but yeah, why not give players like Tony and that a chance, and Ezzy and these sort of players, and Palmer and the other guy, the winger from Newcastle, Anthony Gordon. Give him a go. I don't think he will. And you know, I mean, I watched it last night, thinking, you know, you're bringing on these substitutes, they're having an impact, but it's too late. And you know, but for a bit of brilliance from Bellingham, it would have been too late. So you know, that said, maybe that miss that they had, that Slovakia had, maybe that was the turning point of the whole tournament for us. Maybe we'll be, as we're lifting the trophy, we'll be looking back on that moment.
Nothing will change with Southgate, though. Nothing will change with Southgate.
No, it won't.
Nothing will change. And the thing is, though, it's quite ironic because I did watch the game and I thought we lost. I completely lost. I was just getting on with something, and then and I've got to be honest, Bellingham's goal was absolutely out of this world. I've got to be honest. Like, I mean, honestly, I think he needs to stop worrying about what's on social media, though. I think he needs to stop doing that. I think he's showing his age. Honestly.
I think a thing that definitely has to change is that I noticed a lot last night that the first time balls weren't happening. We were getting to the line and just going backwards again. When you get to the line, play, get round the back, as the old song says, just put that ball in straight away. But we weren't doing that. We were getting the ball and you'd think, cross it or whatever, and then stop, send it back, pass it back, pass it back.
They had the whole second half, bro.
But do you think that's a deliberate thing?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if you've got the ball and you give it a first time cross, a lot of it is about confidence. You're confident.
Yeah, but that's the point, though, Brad.
Yeah.
Brad, they had the whole second half. They had the whole second half
Mm.
to equalise, and they didn't do nothing. They didn't really didn't hit anything. Foden, who really should have kept himself on side, but other than that, let's be honest here. Like, he brought on the subs really late as well.
He did, yeah.
Everyone was saying, "Why are you not putting on sub? Why are you not putting on subs?" And I think for me, he frozen a little bit as well. I mean,
he should have made changes at half time.
Listen, I didn't really want to go into England because I really am not that bothered. And again, I'm trying to be respectful to Harry. I really am, but I'm just really not that bothered.
No, you're fine.
I've learned to switch off now when I'm not bothered. Tottenham have taught me that really much. You know what I mean?
Alex, just do what I do. Don't watch the thing.
Well, yeah, no, but I don't do that. But I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into it because I know Harry wants to end the show. But I'm just saying, wrap up the show. But the point I'm saying is, it's just, for me, you could see that he kind of was losing it a little bit, Southgate, because he should have made some substitutions much quicker. And by looking at Ivan Toney's face, he looked angry. He came on late. That just summed it up perfectly, didn't it? Really. But to be fair, Bellingham and Eze, he looked good. He did look.
Yeah,
good.
he did.
I will say that I feel sorry for the players like Eze and Gordon and the young guy from Crystal Palace. I do think they need a chance. I think they need a chance at least. You know what I mean? And to be honest, Eze did give me a little bit of saying, you know what, I wouldn't mind him at Tottenham. I still think he needs improving. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm sorry, Ian. I know you're a follower of Ange, and I would love to have this debate with you. You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to you, mate, because I speak to what is his name, the Hotspur hippie Paul. He's like you. He's known him a long time. He's known him more than he's known him 20 years, and he don't agree with me. I discuss it with him. I don't think Ange is a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach at the moment. I think he's a good man manager. All day long. And he's proven again that he talks too much. But I don't see him as a coach. I think we'll see what this coaching staff is going to be like. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But for me, I don't think anybody improved last season. So just to bring it back on Tottenham, I don't think anybody improved on it.
Players at Porro, did they improve?
No.
Huh? I thought he improved, to be honest with you.
You're on mute, mate. You're on mute, Ian.
Sorry, yeah. I think if we're on to another debate about Ange, we're doing another show here. So,
you can touch on it.
You were discussing with Paul, somebody.
Yeah, Hotspur hippie.
Hotspur hippie.
Who?
Hotspur hippie. Australian.
Not Paul Kramer, is it?
Paul, yeah, the Hotspur hippie.
From Australia.
From Australia.
And just number one fan.
Hang up who it is from Australia. Paul.
I think he's pretty good, actually. I enjoy his shows.
No. Listen, I love it. I love him because I respect him. I absolutely 100% respect him. Don't say because I love the guy. Yeah, I don't agree with him, but I love him. Absolutely love him. Yeah, because I listen, brother. I'm all for people having different opinions. Don't worry about that. Yeah. That's you. Stick with it. That's it. Stick with it. Don't let me change your opinion. Please do not.
I mean, I watched. I mean, the point is, I watched Ange at Celtic, and I just loved what he was doing at Celtic. And if you were following my social media, a year ago, a year and 13 months ago, I was saying Ange Postecoglou, only person I want for the job. We've got him. Big season for us. Big season for him. But I don't think that's for that. That's for now. I think the important thing is he gets in the players to play the system that he wants and to do the job that he wants, and then we'll see. If you can't hack it, well, we'll change manager again, and it will be, you know, back on the old treadmill again. For
Can I
the
make
gym
just
analogies.
one more point on the England situation, and that is
Go for
that I don't think Southgate will change things, but it's not that it hasn't been done before. England in 1990 were absolutely awful in the group stages, and Bobby Robson totally changed the system. We went to flat back three, wing backs, and then we played brilliantly and got, but for penalties, but for hitting the post, we got knocked out in the semi-finals. So it's not, you know, it has been done before. Unfortunately, I don't think Southgate's the sort of person.
Hasn't got that. He's not shouldn't be spoken about in the same breath as Bobby Robson, Brad. He's an atrocious coach.
I've met him once. I've been in an advert for Bobby Robson.
Ah. There you go.
You weren't in that Carlsberg advert, were you?
No, it's what was it for? It was actually filmed at Tottenham at White Hart Lane. It was him and Gordon Strachan. I can't remember what it was for now, but yeah, met Gordon Strachan, and that did his advert. I mean, I was one of a crowd of people pretending that we were at a game, so we had to go. You
know what, you're talking about the next Manchester United manager in Southgate, by the way, Gareth Southgate. You know, potentially.
Could you believe that?
They can have him. They can have him.
I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that.
I'm just saying. This is where we're going with this now. You know what I mean?
I hope they get him.
Manchester United manager.
I hope they get him.
Right, before we wrap up, Justin, what would you change if you were Gareth Southgate? We talked about, and so have you, obviously, his faults. There's quite a lot of them. What would you change? Is England manager for now?
Yeah, I'll say this bit and then I'll shoot. Blimey, what would I change? God, have I got enough time for this? Well, first of all, I think there needs to be a decision made about the number 10 role, because clearly, we can't, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to work having Foden and Bellingham in the team unless you're going to play Foden on the right. But the problem that we've seen so much with Foden in this team is he drifts out of all different positions that either leaves it too much on the right or not enough on the left in terms of from that side. So there's, to me, I think, if it was being sort of quick about it, because I know Marlon will probably say something, it would be a case of I would drop Saka and I'd have Cole Palmer. I would drop Phil Foden and I'd have Anthony Gordon. I would then have Bellingham. I would have Declan Rice. I'd have either Kobbie Mainoo, or I'd like to actually Adam Wharton be given a go, because I actually thought he was quite calm in terms of his time on the bench or when he played in the friendlies. I'd quite like to potentially see Konza and Stones, because obviously Gehi is suspended. Carl Walker. And then I'd like to see Joe Gomez on the list. Somebody who can actually do the job, rather than just trying to fart ass about in terms of, can we put somebody in there? Can we try and fit people in for the sake of it? No. That, to me, are people playing ultimately in positions that they could do and could make a system work, and actually would be a competitive and attacking, and actually would, I think, rather than, when Kane drops deep, everyone else drops deep, they, you'd see runners go on. It's something that we saw when Cole Palmer came on, that actually he was prepared to run on from Kane. So, that would actually mean that Kane doesn't get isolated, and people would be prepared to actually go and do something that we should have done from day dot, which is actually go after and attack teams and assert our dominance in this tournament.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Anyone got any final comments on England before I wrap up?
Yeah, one last comment. And a lot of people might disagree with me. Sack Southgate. Southgate out.
You would. I thought you hadn't watched the games. I thought you did watch
the
games.
Until he gets gone.
Sunday he'll be gone. Sunday he'll be gone. I wouldn't worry about it.
Until he gets gone, trust me, let me be honest with you. The reason why I'm not watching England is because of Southgate. And I love football. Harry Scarf, you know me. I watch a lot of games. I
do know you.
So much. Like, I watch so much. I watch the women's. I watch the men. I watch the championship. I refuse to watch England. Sack him, and then, trust me, I'll come here with my England jersey, bro.
Fair enough.
We
celebrating?
Really?
Yeah, sums up nicely. Were you celebrating, TJ? We got to semi-final and final.
Listen, I believe we might well, I
That's
don't
it.
even believe we'll get
That's a
past.
yes.
No, we're not.
I don't know. I don't
No,
think
we're not.
I don't think so, man. It's impossible, man. With
You
the
know
style
what?
we're playing,
No,
I
I
don't.
don't think it'll happen.
For me, it's also a social thing because I go to my local pub, meet my friends, watch the game.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a
lovely.
social thing as well. So
That's what it should be. But I do think that wraps us nicely for today. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Firstly, thank you to everyone on the panel. Justin, I know you have to jump. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'll be back on here next week. As said generally
Oh, yeah.
on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, I'm hoping you've done that because you messaged me. Otherwise, I'd be
Yeah, no,
really.
I hope so. Yeah, I know you know more than me.
So
Oh,
yeah, I'll
dear.
be back here next week. Hopefully, we'll have a few more signings through the door and players out. So that will be good. And we can then briefly talk about that before the fact of the Southgate's been sacked. So yeah, thank you so much for having us on. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you all soon.
See you later, buddy.
Justin.
Thank you, Justin. TJ, you're also back on with Justin
Oh, am I?
next week.
Oh, I'll see you next week, buddy. I'll see you
Well, if
next
can make
week.
it. Yeah, so where can people find you?
You can find me on Spurs, Spursy Talks. I've taken kind of a break off of streaming, so I'm coming back.
Did you
Coming
ever
back
start it?
Nah, man. You know what it is, isn't it? It gets late. I'm lazy. I'm so lazy. You know what it is? You have to find the motivation. I don't know how you do it, but believe me, I just don't, because I just don't have the motivation to stream. But I will be back next season. I'm following the women.
You've said that the last 2 seasons.
I know. I'll get serious. Trust me, I will. So you can find me on Spurs Kings TV because I'm going to be on a few shows and on this channel as well, and obviously my channel. And then Tottenham away on occasions. You can just find me about.
Out and about. No, thank you very much, DJ. Thank you very much. Alex, thank you for jumping on last minute. Obviously, wanting to come on and give your thoughts. So, no, I really appreciate you doing that. Where can people find you and your channel?
You're muted, bro. Your mic is stuff. So you can find Alex on Mr. Box Office.
I've never heard Alex so quiet.
I don't know what's going on with your mic, bro. Yeah, your mic is gone.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah,
yeah.
So you can hear me on Mr. Box Office TV. So a bit of a microphone malfunction there.
You should be able to hear him if the mic works.
Yeah. So Mr. Box Office TV. I'm on the beach recently, where I just just been on the beach and I'm just watching the madness, and that's it. All I will say is this: I'm saying this on every single channel. So that yesterday, I'm saying it right now. There's going to be clashes this season between people on YouTube. Right, just get used to it. Get used to it because people are fed up, and one of them's right in front of you right now, the main event. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, because people telling me that we're going to be, we need to be all together right now. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Because I know, right, and I know people don't like this. It's a spoiler alert for this season. Angie's walking at the end of the season because they ain't backing him. They ain't backing him. Yeah, because they haven't said it publicly. And what I said, like I said in June, they haven't said it publicly since. Yeah, like Arsenal with Arteta. Yeah, because what did Arsenal did at the end of the season with Arteta after they missed out in the league? They said, no, don't worry. Don't worry.
They ignored the fans and backed him.
Yep, backed him. I haven't heard nothing from my board. Had nothing from Scott Munn. I've heard nothing. Yeah, and until they do that, Mr. Box Office ain't gonna be on board at all. I'm sorry. I've said this since June, and I've given up since Mourinho came in. Yeah, and you can thank Adrian because he spoke the truth to me. Right, he asked me a question when my breaking point was done. I gave him the answer. I said it since Mourinho came in. I've never changed, and that's it. That's all I need to say. And I'm sorry, truth hurts. And that's where Mr. Boxoff puts the bite bomb, and I'm out of here. Back to you, Harry. I'm done. Big up, everybody. I'm done.
No, thank you very much, Alex.
Don't know, get to know.
No, fair enough. Oh, there you go. No, fair enough.
He dropped the mic.
Um,
He basically said,
Yeah,
"Peace out, drop."
there we go. No comment. Brad, thank you very much for coming on. Where can people find you?
I have my own music channel called Blue Sofa Songs, which is on the description there, where I basically write my own songs, play all the instruments, do everything basically, record it,
lovely.
produce it. It's done from the early days where I'm playing an electric guitar, trying to sing in front of a camera phone, to now where I use all sort of musical software.
Nice.
Songs are about all sorts of things, things that affect me, things I believe in. A bit of politics in there, which you may or may not agree with. That's fine.
Lovely.
There's a song, normally a song out every month. I'm due for one
On
at the
YouTube?
moment. Yeah, on
YouTube,
YouTube. On
yeah.
YouTube. Blue Sofa Songs on YouTube. There's a song out soon, hopefully, which I'm working on right now.
Lovely.
There's all sorts of stuff on there. Other than that, I'm on Twitter at Brad Hotspur. Don't normally say much on there, and I'm on the occasional Tottenham live stream. So who knows?
There you
Switch
go.
on, you see my lovely face on there.
Thank you very much, Brad. It's been
Cheers.
a pleasure.
Cheers, Harry.
And
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for the opportunity to
no worries at all.
publicity.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Ian, thank you as well. And thank you to your grandson for tuning in. If he's still listening, where can people find you, Ian?
Well, I go hiding sometimes, but I have to say the rumours that Brad has written a song called "We Shall Vote Reform" to the tune of Pete Seeger's "We Shall Overcome" have been denied by
That is
his agent.
scandalous, Ian. I'm going to sue you for that.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
defamation of character.
Absolutely. I couldn't resist that.
Well, it is general election this week, so he's relevant.
Yes. I've already got the day off. I've already been watching that all night. I'm
There we
sad.
go. I do plan to do that.
I'm a political animal as well, or just an animal. So I shall, and it'll be late here. It's an hour later because I'm in Spain. So
Of course, yeah.
yeah. Where can you find me? You can find me on any show that I get invited onto, and I can do. I've joined up with Ellie and Adrian and Chang to do this Spurs diehards TTID, Tottenham Till I Die. We'll see if we can get that off the ground. There's so much competition out there for channels, but trying to get something off the ground there. And follow me at Shaggy1712. I'm the positive one. I'm the one that still likes to find the good, and it's a pity that Mr. Box.
We need more of that. We need more people like you.
Because I mean, they haven't come out publicly and backed Anne, so therefore they're not backing him. What a bollocks! Jesus Christ!
Respect Alex, but no club comes out and says we're backing a manager because teams charge more for a player. It just never has been done and never will be done. It's
the problem
nonsense.
that you've got is
totally
if you
ballistic.
say that. I mean, do you have to say that every week? I mean, do you have to tell your wife every day that I love you? And if you miss a day, does she think you don't? I mean, and then if you say to the yes, we back the manager every Saturday night, and then one Saturday night you don't, the following day's headlines are, Postecoglou on the brink because Levy didn't back him last night. It's utter nonsense.
It's players nonsense. Sorry, I know I don't want to get into this conversation, but it's players like Werner.
Timo Werner, yeah, you are. Here we go.
It's players like Timo Werner.
You can't help it.
The quality that I need.
58 minutes to sort of throw it in there.
Oh yeah, lovely.
But carry on, bro. Carry on. Big up yourself, man.
No, lovely. Thank you. Go check all these guys out on all socials. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Got a lot of content coming your way, Premier League wise, England wise, Spurs wise. The shows continue. One of the only channels to keep going with the weekly shows throughout the summer. Keep on delivering. While others are snoozing, we keep on delivering every Monday, 7:45 p.m. So you know where to be. Little dig there. But all jokes aside, get behind all the Spurs channels. But we want to put ourselves out and about, and that is the reality. To do smash that subscribe button. If you're listening also on a podcast platform after, don't forget to give us a follow and a 5-star review. Now available on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. So thank you very much. And for now, a big come on you Spurs. Been a little bit negative about Postecoglou today, so this will cheer us all up. Up Spurs, up England. Come on.
You working as a manager at Celtic Park. When we met you, we picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. Ange Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. Ange Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, he looks so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh, oh.